Hello everybody, so it's time to go through the patch details, and this is now patch 3.2.1 and it's going to release on March 21st. As you probably know, there is going to be 3 espers that are going to be released into the game, as well as an Unkichai skin. So for Ethan, this is what he does, and we're obviously going to go into the actual look of him, because I'm on the test server, so you get to see how all of these people look. I thought we would go through the features first, though, before we would look into how everything is looking now. So there's going to be an added knockout, which is not still live on the test server, so I'll have to do another one on that one, but it looks quite promising. And it's a new setup altogether, and it's in place of where the arena used to be. So the arena still is around, but it's in its place. So it's a combat with auto battle, and it's going to be very interesting to see how it works, because it seems like it's going to be wave upon wave and elimination based. So that looks fun. Then there's Hell mode that's coming to story mode, chapter 1 through chapter 4, and there's going to be two teams that you need to deploy. And the interesting part about that is that I hope that it means that we're going to get more rewards from it. We'll see about that. Then there's some added avatars and quick battle to point war, which I think is probably one of the best things to come out of this. Quick battle to point war means that you get to have much easier and faster going up, back up once the season is ended. So instead of having to grind and that taking forever, you get to just be more efficient about it so that you get back to your point war rank. And that's awesome, honestly. After all of this, we are going to go into the new game, but I would like to go into a couple of things here. So let's scroll down and get to the part where it says about, yeah, here we go. So the Sentinel Hunt. There's going to be 3 monsters in total. So the Dark Star-Lord, we already know. But here's the part that is awesome and has been awaited for such a long time. We are going to be able to blitz, okay? Which means, as you all know, that we are going to have so much less time spent on just grinding away at the Sentinel. I'm very excited about that, and I hope you are too. It's going to save so much time. Also, the 2 new projections are really, really interesting, especially the stage with the Dutchess, which you're going to see later. It looks so awesome. It's going to be quite a hard one because it's dependent on high def espers, so black torches and people like that are going to be really good for it. And then there's Holo. Holo is changing up, and I don't know what to say about that, apart from the fact that I'm very skeptical. Holo Battle will no longer grant club points or gold, and I'm a bit worried that it means that Holo Battle is going to not really die off, but there's not going to be quite as much an incentive for people to play it anymore, and I don't really know what they were thinking when they did that. Yeah. But anyway, we're gonna have ritual, so I'm guessing that maybe it's, you know, for people who want to play that instead, it's gonna be great because there's going to be more of a challenge to it and all of that. But I really liked Holo, so I hope that it's not going to die off entirely. There's some other optimizations here and there, and there's also a lowering of the difficulty of all temporal towers, and that's good for people who struggle with that. Also, Calamity Island is going to have some changes to it, which is nice. I know that some people were struggling with the higher floors and that, so that's good. And then there's some changes to the Union Shop. I've heard a lot of different opinions on that. I know that a lot of people are upset that there's going to be fragments instead of just legendary Abilimons, but yeah, we'll see how that works in action. It should technically be about the same, but yeah, it doesn't feel quite as good having loads of fragments instead of just getting the Abilimon. So that's a bit of a weird change, I think. And then there's just the rewind and skip story and minor details, right? So let's get into the game itself. Okay, so straight away you can see that this is what I was talking about. Knockout is here instead of arena that used to be in its place. But as you can see, the arena is still around. It's just a bit further down there. Now for the new espers. So this is Ethan, and he's based off of Pan, who is a very cool mythical creature. If you don't know anything about him, I'll just give you the very quick rundown. And he was supposed to be half human and half goat, which you can see they've done a good job with that. He was also supposed to be so terrifying to look at and so scary that the word panic comes from his name. So Pan and Ik, so panic. He also was supposed to have goat legs, and he does. And although he was very musically inclined, he had a flute, not this accordion situation. Because, you know, pan flute is what he was known for playing. I do like, however, that they have incorporated that. I also do like his little tattoo on his shoulder, because he was slightly demonic as an entity, even though he was still a deity. He does have a lot of demonic-esque characteristics about him, so I thought that was a really nice touch. I'm not quite sure about this Digimon situation that they have by his side, but he was a god of any creature and any animal who goes on pastures and flocks and stuff like that. I guess this could be some sort of border collie, maybe. Very odd looking in that regard, but yeah, I don't know what that's supposed to be a reference to. Moving on. So here are his skills. Now this is what I think is really interesting about it. His speed plus 20 is absolutely insane. I can only start to imagine what that would look like if you paired him with someone already overpowered like Nua, or Unas, or anyone who's really, really fast to start with. And also his crit damage plus 20% is insane for people like Gaius. If you have a really strong one and you have maxed out everything that you can possibly add onto him, you can just get even more damage by adding Pan into the situation. I think that's great. He also has a really interesting touch with the panic gaze, which I really like that they called it that, because it's quite true to his mythology. I really like it, but it's true damage, and it's great. I love that it is paired with Deaf Down. The magic tune, which is really cute, does the same thing again with a crit rate, crit damage, you know, for the panic gaze. But it does also afflict 20% down on the AP. There's a 60% chance of that. Stun, all of it. I am very excited about this dude. He also adds the highest crit rate captain ability, I think, in the game so far. I think there's only 25% that exists so far. So this is great. That means that you can relic differently and get away with you know, less crit rate in your relics and still have it be 100% thanks to this guy. So very interesting touch. Let's go into his resonance, which is upsettingly good. You have this, and as you remember, that's a speed up, right? do you see what I see with this? So let me go through this. So if you have him at Resonance 2, at the start of combat, all allies gain Magic Tune, which means speed plus 20%. No, I mean not percent, but just plus 20, right? This means that if you bring him into Holo and you have a really fast Unis, you get 20 extra speed, which means that he will go first, most likely. You know? You get what I'm getting at? This is insanely good. Also, again, to bring up Nua, if you have her paired with this guy and you just get a plus 20 speed on her, and then you just strip and have all the abilities, all of the magic that Nua does, way to go to make her even more broken, you know? Then his 6th resonance is this. Yeah. I'll let you come to a conclusion by yourself on how broken this could be. It's insane. And then you have these resonances in between, which are absolutely great as well. They're more standard though, but these two, oh my god, absolutely fucking crazy. Yeah, and let's not forget the first one as well. It's quite good. For the Koharu one, the new one, we can go into her abilities first. And this is what she does. So she grants Kagura Dance, which is damage dealt plus 10% and healing received plus 10%. She's a very interesting little support character. Her attack down is also obviously really helpful. Diseased is super practical, always necessary for a pep. And then she grants recovery. I think that her and Parmi together could be an interesting situation. They're super adorable, both of them. Not that that necessarily should be a deciding factor, but it's a nice thing. Paired with Meredith, there would be a lot of recovery going around. She's very interesting. She doesn't immediately stand out as a character that, yes, this is her use, you know, but she has, I think, a lot of utility to her that mixed with the right espers could really make her quite fun. She has resonances that are good as well. I think this one is quite good. Having instant miss rate is really practical. I do like that when she's incapacitated, her damage taken goes down. And then here you go with this one. And the fact that it can't be resisted, I really like that. But then again, there's also other espers that instantly do death down without having all the extra resonance and stuff. So, you know, Red Twin, White Tiger. So all in all, that's not quite as powerful as you would think. But if you don't have those espers, then that's really good. As to this one, yeah, let's not start with the resonance. Let's go into the abilities first, okay? So she has a lot of fun that she does. So she adds crit rate, speed up, def up, and attack up. That's quite powerful. It's very, very good. She also inflicts Dizzy Daze for 2 turns, which means that when taking a hit, it grants afflicted espers an AP boost of 10%. And it triggers once per turn. I think that's super great. The attack up, def up, crit rate, speed up, all of this is super good. She can steal buffs, and all ability cooldowns of the enemy get 1 extra turn. And she inflicts stun. Now let's go to her resonance. The classic more damage, more accuracy, more attack base, def and HP, and a chance of ignoring resist. This one, however, is quite good. So if you don't have any sort of stripper and you're early in the game, this would be potentially a way to get a bit of a strip into it. Would take time though, but still, it's not bad. We're gonna have a look at the Sentinel Hunt things now. I can't really show you the stages themselves because I've used up the tickets and you only get 2. But we can look into what it actually does. So you start off with just one team being open, and then as you progress through the things, you get the second and the third open up as well. As you can see, achieve a rating of S to unlock a 3rd squad. Now, this is what it does. So he can be afflicted by sleep, and when he does, he takes more damage. When he's not afflicted by diseased, it takes less damage while dealing more damage. So what you want to do against him is afflict diseased and sleep. And then also use espers that can manipulate AP, because then you can extend the duration of sleep. And these are the ones that are recommended from Dislyte. I think that there's a lot of interesting combinations that you can use against this boss, because he's a bit different from what we've been playing against up until now. Now, this one is the one that I think has the coolest look to her, and I sadly can't show you the stage itself, but it's extremely colorful, and it might set off people who get like bad reactions off of a lot of shining things and stuff like that, so I would be maybe a bit careful about that. But there's a lot going on our stage, and it's quite cool. So you have to use an Esper with high def, and it's a whole thing. You can have a look at this. This is a bit more of a complicated situation because she does do a lot of damage. And I think it's safe to say that using one of these 4 of the defensive fighters is kind of idle. But yeah, Queen Mother is also a very good pick for all of this, and so is Abigail, I would say. And this is what she does. Now, what's new about all of this is the fact that you get to blitz. I know I've said that already, but you get to blitz. And for those of us who have been wanting a way to minimize or do anything else while, you know, we're fighting Sentinel, being able to blitz is just such a quality of life upgrade. Also, what's really nice about all of this is that you get loads of equipment and stuff like that as a reward right after you have cleared a stage. So that's really nice. You also get to see down here who participated and not, and the club rank and everything. So it just looks fresher and nicer, in my opinion. There's also less to do every time because you get 2 tickets per time, and that's it. So here you can see the fragments, and this is how that works. Next you have the Hunter's Depot, which is really nice because here you get legendary Abilimon, gold records, and memo tips. And you can, as you play, you will be able to get those, and I like that. Free stuff is good stuff. And then you have the Celebration Collection, which is pretty similar to what we've had so far, just in a different packaging. So you collect points and stuff by doing Ritual Miracle, Desolate Land, Sonic Miracle, and Sonic Rift. And each challenge grants bizarre stamp points, which are basically just points, and then you redeem the stuff. The same as Hunter's Depot also, you know, you do the stages and the things, and that gives you points, and then you redeem the goodies off of that. And that should be pretty much everything that is new. There are some minor changes as well here and there, and I don't really find them to be too mind-breaking in any sort of way. It's not super interesting. What will be interesting to see is the knockout thing, and that's not started yet, so I can't really show you that. I don't really know anything about it yet either, since it hasn't started, but as soon as it does, I'll make sure to post a guide and let you guys know what it's all about. I'm really excited about it, and I hope that it's going to be a cool little extra thing, because it does look like it's going to be very different from anything that we've had so far. So I hope you have a good day, enjoy, and make sure to subscribe and like and comment. Let me know what you look forward to in the new patch. I'll see you next time. Bye.